Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Yes, we'll be talking about Carmelo Anthony, but it will just be a small one, all right? It will just be a small one, or not really necessarily small, but you'll get the picture. Because we're going to be going over exactly what's been going on with this journalist. Now, the journalist that is we're going to be talking about here is Sarah Field. She's the one that's been keeping up uh, with Carmelo Anthony, et cetera, et cetera. And she has been attacked, doxxed, et cetera. And she's going to explain what's going on and what really Dominic Alexander is, because these leftists, these far leftists, these liberals, et cetera, they're not good people. They're disgusting, evil people. And she's going to explain what's been happening to her, along with the whole case with Carmelo Anthony and Dominic Alexander. So without further ado, let's get directly into this.
Sympathy press conference where they nailed Carmelo Anthony somehow to the cross. He's the real victim in this murder of Austin Metcalf. And at the end of it, or close to the end of it, Dominique Alexander, the career criminal who leads this next generation action network, Baby Al Sharpton, he's holding up social media posts that he's printed out and pointing the finger at Sarah Fields, the mother of four, the local politician. And I was
Yeah,
like, wow, she's really gotten under Dominique Alexander's skin.
definitely.
What have you done to provoke Dominique Alexander? Why are your social media posts so bothering him?
It started with me sharing the arrest report, which I find pretty wild because I requested the arrest report through an open records request to Frisco PD. And then when I shared it on social media, as soon as I received it, I read it and I posted it. All I said was arrest report for Carmelo Anthony, and it went viral. It got millions of views, and I got threats. My family was threatened. I was threatened. I was called a racist. I was called a bigot for sharing an arrest report, an official document. So that was pretty wild. And then from there,
This is an ongoing thing that always happens with the left. So when you go out, and this is only when it comes down to either people on their side or especially black people, is that, and whether you're black or not, is that if you show something like an arrest report or whatever to any kind of person that is on the left or is black, you will get shamed. You will be called a racist. You'll become a homophobe. You'll become a every type of um emotional word in the book to try to make to make you feel bad, when it's just these people are emotional beings. They go off of emotions alone, and if you don't cater to your emotions all that much, it doesn't really it's not that big of a deal. The death threats, however, yeah, that's crazy. And I think if you are doing death threats towards people, at least the way in this context, you should be immediately arrested and put in bars for at least for a minimum of 5 years. It's because we can't be having this type of BS happening here, where people are just using death threats in this case. So this is a common tactic by the left.
there, I was able, because it got so much attention, um, there were quite a few people who approached me. One specific person who was, where this all started was with a source who came to me and said, hey, I have information on the organization that they have decided to use to represent themselves, and the attorney that is connected with the organization. And this source sent me multiple links and several avenues to follow to investigate Dominique Alexander. And I shared a full thread about his background, about his organization, his fraudulent organization. And I have another good friend who works in legal areas when it comes to 501(c)s, and I asked them, hey, can you take a second look at this for me, because I want to make sure I'm looking at this right, because it appears that they have not filed anything through the IRS in 5 years. They took a look at it and they said, yes, absolutely. This organization appears to be doing what is called 501(c) hopping, which means they're jumping from 501(c) to 501(c) anytime they get any pressure from the state or from the IRS federally to file any kind of documents or financial statements. They close it down, or it's revoked, and they start a new one. So
Essentially, it's just taxation fraud is what it is, and yeah, that's a big deal. So I am not expecting this business or this guy to be available very soon, because considering the fact that the IRS is probably going to be breathing down his neck pretty quickly. So his business is probably going under, and then himself is probably going to be in jail. So this is what happens when you hire a activist such as this. The where the Anthony family really effed up. They pretty much effed their kid in this regard. Where I don't know if they care about their kid or what have you, but they really try to use the activism or the victim type card, and we're finding out that this guy is just not a terrible person. But like I said, we have gone through the actual issues and crimes that this guy has gone through. So I mean, this is not too terribly surprising here.
So he has shared nothing on this organization since 2020. So
The other thing,
that's what got under his skin.
yeah, that got under his skin, and now you've really gotten under his skin because you've gone in and explained, as others have, his history of criminal behavior.
Yeah.
And thank God you're doing this work, because I think it's important to. I think it says something about Carmelo Anthony's family that this is who they would choose to be the spokesman for the family. The guy
Right.
barely has command of the English language. He has a history of arrest records and criminal activity, and this fundraising that all that entire press conference that he held seemed like a fundraising campaign more than it had anything to do with justice. And
Of course. And that is just something that's ongoing here, where we all see that where this is a grift, this isn't something to where he actually cares, and he's pretty much using this kid to get money. That's pretty much all it is. And again, as I said before, he pretty much said the similar things to what I said. It's like it really questions you on how this family thinks when they're using this guy as a representation for their son that has been quote unquote allegedly has murdered or unlived someone. So it shows huge things here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to skip this here, right? We're going to skip this because obviously this is very long, and I want you guys to actually see the video. I will post the whole thing down here. But obviously, I want to show you everything. We're going to do the meet and greet on what this woman has been through and the situations that she's put in.
you, but could you go over one, two, or three of the most serious allegations from Dominique Alexander's past?
Um, it is only two or three. um, One of the most disturbing things to me, obviously, is his abusive past. It really speaks on the character of a man. I have been in an abusive relationship before. And he, not once but twice, domestically abused his girlfriend. Um, and he's also injured a child, a 2-year-old child. It takes a very horrible, special kind of person to harm a child like that and then lie about it, because he did. He lied about it, said that the child fell off the couch or something like that, but permanently damaged that child. Um,
Like I said, we have gone through arrest records and seen onto how this guy portrays his life, right? And I didn't know the child was permanently damaged, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Permanently damaging a 2-year-old child is wild. This guy is obviously not a good person. He is a god awful person, and this guy should have been behind bars permanently for a lot longer than what he was to been.
it's pretty awful. Another thing that I have serious concerns about is that Dominique Alexander's past with activism is very violent. He has gotten into multiple physical fights. He's very aggressive, and he does it on purpose. And he's also known for harassing people, and he's known for going to people's homes. I think if you look on my social media, I've posted multiple videos actually where he has gone to elected officials' homes and taunted them for hours at a time. There's nothing good that can come from that kind of behavior. And then there was one more thing. I was trying to think of what it was.
Let me ask you this question. We don't need. Are you concerned about your own safety?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Not just since the arrest report, which it was pretty bad after I got put that out there. But since he named me specifically, he targeted me specifically in his press conference, I have had death threats on me, and they're coming from BLM and Antifa. And I've been doxxed. My address has been shared multiple times. They've come after my children. They have, multiple people have not just sent me messages, but have even put publicly online my address, my church's address, pictures of my home, pictures of my church. And several people have shared photos of my children and have talked about wanting to figure out where my older son goes to school, which is all malicious. And so I have actually had to have a security team come watch my home. I've gone on lockdown. It's not that I can't, but for safety's sake, I have not gone anywhere but required meetings and church. For Easter, I went to church, and thankfully, my church is aware of the situation, and they have assigned a safety team to me as well. They walk us to and from the vehicle, and they watch us while we are in church.
So this is what I wanted to be addressed apart his right. This is not mostly too much of Carmelo Anthony, but this is more with his supporters and what you're getting yourself into when you're dealing with these scumbags of the planet. So again, we have where the far left, because she mentioned BLM and Antifa, right? We all know BLM is a terrible, fraudulent organization, right? They are not good people. Antifa are also not good people. And when you have these people, they use fear to try to prevent you from spreading truth and stuff like that. So this is the reason why that BLM and Antifa should be labeled as terrorist organizations, straight up throughout all the way through, because there's no way that you cannot say this is not terroristic like type behavior where you're taking somebody, doxing them, which I'm starting to believe that this should be illegal and not be allowed to dox people because that's wild, and all this crazy stuff that these liberals, these far leftists are doing. Like, this is what reporters and journalists, uh, at least reputable and good journalists, have to deal with, because it's like they're under threat constantly. Now, I can call myself a journalist or a reporter, what have you, but I don't receive the amount of death threats or anything of that sort because, well, one, I'm just not big enough for that to actually affect me. I've had a lot of racist comments, though. Hi, racist. But the fact of the matter is that this is what people have to deal with. And it's disgusting that the far left is just, at this point, cannot be labeled as terrorist organizations, because this is what they do. You have people where they just straight up, you report something because it's part of the news and you just want the news to get out to people. But then you have these crazy people go out and dox you and go after your kids. And they want to claim that they're the good people, right? We're the people of the moral justice and we're great and nice and we're amazing. No, you're not great and nice. You're not good people. I don't go out and dox people, all right? I don't do this. I do this to judges or whatever, or government officials who already have their public information already out, like their face and their names are already out. But I don't go out and dox their homes. Why would I go and do this? It's just not a correct way of doing things. But the left knows no bounds, right? They don't end their tyranny there. So that's the reason why I think what Trump should do is that when it comes to Antifa and BLM, immediately label them as terrorist organizations, and then allow the FBI and what have you go out, investigate these people, and arrest all of them. Because there is no way that you can being a part of BLM means you're a part of a terrorist organization. If you're a part of Antifa, that means you're a part of a terrorist organization. That's the way I view it. Because if these people, these Carmelo Anthony supporters, are going out and doing this type of thing to this person here, it is uncalled for, unneeded, and that's why you people don't deserve any type of nicety or respect. Because if you're going out and doing this type of stuff, then you are part of the problem. You're the reason why our country is in the state that it's in. So, be as it may, this is what we have to deal with. And this is what I had to talk about. That's the biggest part of the thing here. And hopefully you guys get to see this, because it's abhorrent on what we're dealing with the far left in this country. And Dominic Alexander, That Carmelo Anthony really knows how to pick them. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.